we're going to start off with one story from Jay's life.
My son was like 3.5, 4. He's like, "Daddy?" And I was like, "Bro," I just started crying. I pulled the knife out thinking it was gonna scare him. And he was like, "Stab me."
How many times have you been locked up?
15, 16 times. So my 12th month in roofing, I made $38,000. That's how much I had. And I got it all in like 2.5 weeks. You're not special.
No.
Like you either come in, you put in the work, or you don't.
So we're going to start off with one story from Jay's life. What was the age that you started making actual changes?
Changes in shit, this is embarrassing. 31.
31.
Yeah.
Why is that embarrassing?
Yeah, I mean, dude, I was a full-time criminal, do whatever the fuck I needed to do, kind of guy for 31 years. You know, I mean, I had a couple of legal jobs, but I think I just had to have those because of probation. You know, and then at 31 though, when I, you know, of course, when I got out of jail, that's when I was like, oh, like that was the first. So that had been the first time I had gotten locked up when I had a kid.
How many times have you been locked up?
Dog, I lost count.
Really?
Yeah, I've been locked up probably like 15, 16 times.
And then
Yeah, I was on probation from the time I was 12 to the time I was 31. I think I had a commercial break of like 8 months not being on probation. Yeah, and I got right back on it.
19 years on probation?
Yeah, the first time I got locked up, I was 12.
What happened at 12 years old that got you locked up?
I was 12 or 13. I violated probation. I was on probation.
Well,
for
how'd you get on? How'd
Well,
you start? What'd you get caught with
so
first?
I pulled a steak knife out on a kid. Like I was gonna go fight this kid, and I was worried he was gonna jump me, and so I put this steak knife in my backpack, and I was riding my bike, and sure enough, he was with like 5 other dudes. And I was just thinking in my head, like, I was like, I'll just stab him, you know? And what's crazy about that is that I really wasn't expecting this, but I pulled the knife out thinking it was going to scare him. And he was like, "Stab me." And I was like, ah. You know what I mean? And, you know, and so I did not stab him because you're like, oh, this motherfucker really want me to stab him. Like, you know, and so anyway, right when I pulled the knife out, he was like, "Go ahead, stab me." He keeps charging me up, and there was a detective right there. Like, right when I pulled the knife out, like, you know, where I lived, there was police everywhere. So right when I pulled
And
it
where
out,
was this for context?
this was in Jersey.
Jersey.
Yeah.
Where in Jersey?
Old Bridge.
Old Bridge. Is that north or south?
Central.
Central. Is that like Freehold, Manalapan area?
Yeah, it was really close.
Jackson?
Wow, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perth Amboy, Old Bridge, Sayreville, New Brunswick. Like, yeah, that's that area.
Yeah, there's a little tough area every now and then throughout there. It's
You
a
know.
nice area in Jersey, but
It's not.
I always ask people, why do they live there? You know, I'm not trying to hate on Jersey,
I
but
think people who live in Jersey, they just like escaped New York.
they haven't experienced anything else.
It's like you're far enough from New York, but you're not too far where you could go visit. But it's like, and then there's like a better beach
that you have to pay for, bro.
Yeah, not all of them. You can go to like Belmar. You know?
Dude,
I don't know.
Jersey
They might charge for it now.
Whoever figured out how to monetize God's creation, like
Yeah.
the beach access,
Yeah.
that's the next level.
Well, that's
riff.
like how this country was founded anyway.
Fair enough. We have a section for that later. So 12 years old, you get in trouble, man. You start your probation journey. So back to that original question, it took you 19 years of being on probation to actually really start changing your life. And the first time you were in jail with your kid, is that when things hit you, and why?
Yeah. So, I mean, I grew up without a father. And I always said to myself, I would never leave my kid. Like, I don't think people really understand things until you have, like, you don't understand your childhood until you have a kid. Because, like, you have a whole different appreciation for your parents or for the parents that weren't there. Because when my son was born, I thought to myself, like, that's when it really hit me, the whole, like, not having a father thing. Like, it really didn't bother me my whole life. Like, I didn't give you know, when you're born without something, you don't have anything to compare it to. I never. It's like it's not like I had a father and he left and then can't. You know what I mean? It's just I never had it, so you don't know what life is like without it. But then when I had a kid and I was a father, now I was like, how did my father like not be around for my life because like I love my son. Like I could never see myself leaving my kids, you know, and I thought it was righteous. Like I don't know, like what I was doing when my son was born, like. I thought it was like this righteous way, like I was hustling drugs and I was making ends meet and I had it all like verified in my head. Like this was, you know what I mean? Like men provide for their kids and, you know, but in realistic terms, I just went back to what I was comfortable with because I didn't know how to make money. You know, I didn't know any other way to make that kind of money unless I was selling drugs, you know, because $600 a week working a 40-hour job wasn't going to cut it, you know, especially when I saw that daycare bill. I was like, dude, first time I dropped my son off at daycare, it was like $275. I was like, bro, if I were to work over there for 40 hours, I get $650 and I give half of that to them. You know what I mean? I'm like.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
When you started seeing the amount that businesses charge for their services, did that like encourage you to kind of get out of the drug game a little bit? You're like, wait a second.
No, it just told me that I needed to be in the drug game.
Why? Why is that?
Well, because like I was like, there's nowhere else that you can make this kind of money. Like,
and what kind of money were you making then?
I mean, dude, you know, I mean, I was getting pain medication, you know, sent to me, Oxycontins and hydromorphones. They go for like $50-$60 a piece.
Like a real 30 with no Tylenol.
Yeah, I was getting like 400 of them for like $7, you know. So I was making $43 a pill, you know. And I was making $12,000 a month. I thought it was pretty fucking decent. I paid for an apartment. I was living good. Like I wasn't worried about groceries and bills and all that, but I was worried about the cops kicking in my door and
yeah,
you know.
Absolutely.
But I didn't have to worry about stuff as far as like taking care of my son.
Yeah.
You know, as far as financially, you know.
Well, out of all the drugs you could sell, I would say that has the stickiest and most consistent clientele with the least annoying.
Yeah.
So
oh, yeah.
They're not cokeheads. They're not potheads. They need that pill. So you have a guaranteed almost revenue stream in your head from the streets. And so you go to jail. Like, what's the moment in jail where like, what's the moment in jail where you're going, man, I really need to change? And
man, it was so I had full custody of my son. So I had sole conservatorship. So which means that like his mom at that time wanted to sign her rights away. She wasn't able to in the courtroom, but you know, because there was a time there when he was 2 to 3 years old that I was actually completely fucking sober. Like, and you know, I was literally only selling drugs. Like I was not like doing my you know, and that was to get custody of my son, you know? And so when I got locked up, I was very prideful about that. I was like, that's cool. Like, and I used to be, I'm a single dad, you know, just trying to make ends meet. Like, this is the story I played to myself, you know? When I got locked up, I had to give the rights to my mom. So the charges that I had, the first offer that I got was like 15 years. Like, but the first time you hear that, you're like, what? You know, because I had aggravated assault on a family member with a deadly weapon. You know what I mean? So that's a first-degree felony. And then along with all the other stuff that I had possession charges, all this stuff. It was like, and this was like over a 6-month period that this kind of happened. I had some other stuff, then I got bailed out. It was like, I'm not going to bore you into all of this, but the first thing I heard from the judge was, even the lawyer told me not to take it. She's like, hey, they're going to come at you. It's 15 years. You could take it. I wouldn't take it. Don't take the first number the judge offers you. And when that hit me, I was like, yo, what the fuck? I'm like, 15 years? Like, it shocks you. You're like, yo, I'm about to really go for a really long time. Like, when I say I've been locked up like 14, 15 times, I'm talking about like 2 months, 3 months, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. Like, you know what I mean? 4 months, like, 6 months.
It just felt like time out.
They're little things, you know what I mean? I had never done longer than a year, like you know what I mean? And then I'm here 15 years, and I'm like, holy, you know? And then I got on the phone with my mom one day, and my mom tried to put my son on the phone. And it was the first time ever that I went to speak and my vocals didn't work. Like, you know, my son was like 3.5, 4. He's like, Daddy? And I was like, bro, my didn't even work. My eyes, I just started crying. And like, you're trying not to cry when you're locked up. You know what I mean? Like, it hit me like a ton of bricks in my chest where I just hung the phone up, you know, and dove into the Bible. Like, I just had to, I was like, something else has got to help me, you know? And I just locked in. Like, I used to call the payphone the stress box, because I was like, I don't even want to talk to nobody. I was like, I don't even care what anybody's doing out there. I was like, I just got to get my time done. And I'm going to do push-ups, read the Bible, clean my cell, push-ups, Bible, clean my cell, push-ups, Bible, clean my cell, push-ups. I was like, I'm just going to come out swole and just like, I don't ever want to be here again. And in my Bible, I had a picture of my mom and a picture of my son, and that was all I needed. It was like, I didn't need to, like, dude, I didn't even want my mom to visit. My mom visited me one time, and I got so mad at her because she was, so at the time I was trying to, I went through the criminal, but I was also going through family court from jail. So like, dude, so like, there's this time where I have to go to family court, and I'm in a jumper, and like God damn, I haven't thought of these things in such a long time. They're about to bring me into the family court thing, and I asked the bailiff, I'm like, hey, is my son in that courtroom? And they're like, yes. And I jumped up and I kicked, like, there was a door frame, and I kicked the side of the door frame. I'm like, bro, don't bring me the there, dude. I was like, he's like, what? And then he's like, well, we're gonna have to talk to the judge. I was like, talk to the judge. I was like, bro, how's the judge gonna want me to go into this courtroom in I don't want my son to see me like this. I was like, sign whatever. I was like, send me whatever paperwork back here in the cell. But I'm like, I'm not going out there. I'm like, I'm not letting my son see me like this, bro. I was so mad, and I was mad at the time. I was like mad. My mom even had brought him to the thing. I was like, dude, this is. Anyway, all the chaos of that, the powerlessness, the pain, and all that. I was like, dude, this is so emasculating. I was like, I feel like dude, you just feel like a piece of, you know. And when you feel like a piece of like that, I don't know. That was my bottom, bro. That was it. I was like, dude, this is so much chaos in my life, you know. And yeah, I hit like it almost is a sign, bro. It's weird. It's like somebody says like best of times or worst of times, because it was the worst in time, but it was absolutely so peaceful because it was like there was nothing I felt like it couldn't get really much worse. You know, I had already been in this rhythm of doing like time, and you get into this like rhythm where you're just like every day you just know what to do to make the time pass, and one day you just look up and you're like released, you know. But I was at so much peace with myself because there was only up. Like, there was only up from here. You know, it was like I was laying flat on my back. It was like, that was cool. You're like flat on my back. There's nothing I can do, but anything could happen, and it would only bring me up. Like, I was like, you know, and there's just a lot of peace and solace in that.
So you keep saying the word peace, and I got a question about that. How did reading the Bible and just worrying about the workout every day, how did that actually provide peace to you?
Man, so the Bible has a lot of proverbs in there and a lot of wisdom, and there's a lot of stories in there that, one, you know, stories always like kick your emotions, right? And they give you hope.
Yes.
You know, the Bible gave me hope. It gave me a sense of like, I could find peace. I could find there's grace for me too. You know what I mean? And there's possibility for me, right? And like, I don't know how that thing's all written, but the way it's written is beautiful. And so when you read it, you're like, oh snap, like this is cool. Like I can be saved. I'm not as as like I think I am. And like everyone's up, you know? Like everybody's, you read the Bible, like everybody's
yeah, like everybody cheats on it's like a noble journey to be Christ-like, but everybody basically fails at the end.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait, why is that? And so I have another question about the peace part there. So you said you were also doing push-ups every day. It sounds like a good routine for people to continue today.
Oh yeah,
Just like work out,
dude.
clean your work area,
Make your
and
bed,
read the word.
make your bed, clean your room, read the Bible. Make your bed, clean the room, clean the Bible. Yeah, dude.
So,
that's literally the rhythm I was in when I got out. Like I was just like making my bed. It's just very like simple. It's like a simple monk life. Like, you know, like, and you there's so much gratitude in just having a bed that's made. Like that speech that one dude, I forget that general or whatever, right? He's talking about making your bed and like, you know, and that was like so huge for me. Like Taylor, now, of course, like I have nannies now, so I don't fucking make my bed, which I'm being honest, right? But when me and Taylor met, I was gung ho on making the bed when we got out. Like I was like, yo, pillows, this, dude, hold the sheet, whoop. Even when she wasn't there, I was like lifting this queen bed and scooping the sheets underneath. I did that in the motel. I did that like I didn't even need a maid. They didn't even need to come to clean my motel, the one I was in when I first got introed to roofing.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, you worry about what you can worry about and try to focus on something bigger than you, and you'll find your peace.
Yeah, man. I think
just taking care of your day to day.
Yeah, bro, you gotta just I don't know, dude. The way I went about it was like I just had to hit my bottom, you know, and when I hit my bottom, I just bounced way the up.
So that's my next question. What parts of somebody's life can genuinely change in 12 months if they become completely focused?
Oh, dog. I mean, like, so bro, you got to be locked in. You could change your life in 6 months. Dude, I'm telling you, man, like when I got introduced to roofing, I'm talking about from day one to month 6. Bro, I knocked doors every fucking day from 8 to fucking 8 p.m. Like I did not take a fucking day off. I locked in for 6 months, and by month 6, I was making $15,000 a month. And I never made less than that moving past month 6. But by month 6, I had a Trailblazer, but I did have a car. I had insurance. I had money to eat. I had a pretty nice apartment, man. The apartment me and Taylor lived in was pretty dope. It wasn't like the hood for sure. It was like a gated like apartment complex, which was like a luxury apartment. We had it fully furnished. I was able to see my son every other weekend. I paid almost all my child support off by month 6. I had pretty much fixed my credit too by month 6. Like every single dollar I got, I put right back into fixing my life. Like every time I got a check, I like deteriorated it down to 0, but every single dollar was used to like fix, you know what I mean? In my past, fix my credit, fix whatever it was. But by month, so like, and I was doing all that. I just locked in, and it was kind of like the same thing I was talking about with jail, right? I was like, man, I was at rock bottom. Well, the fact that I just locked into working. Like I was like, this is amazing. Like I had so much. Looking back, I'm like, man, that you're asking me this. I'm like, I was so grateful to have this sales job in roofing, that someone had given me this opportunity, that I was gonna make sure that they knew how appreciative I was, you know, and then how I would just do that. Like I just worked more than everybody, bro. Like, and when I looked up, I was number 2 in that company. I was the number 2 by the end of that year. The only person that was above me was my supervisor, and he got like leads and all this other stuff. But you know, I did $1 million in sales in metal roofing. Like I went ham, you know, and you know, I made $145,000 my first year. That was another weird thing, because when I saw the income thing, it said 145,000. I was like, damn, that's dope. And my whole life, I always wanted to make. Like, even when you ask anybody that starts at Miller Storm, me and Naaman always have this inside joke. We're like, watch, he's gonna say $100,000. Everybody says $100,000, right? And when you make over $100,000 and you realize that's not enough money, you're like, and not like, it's not a lot of money.
Yeah.
$145,000. Like when he told me that, I was like, where is it? I was like, it ain't in my account, you know? But when I look back at all the things I had fixed, like, and all the major milestones I had overcome to even get to that point, but I was still like, whoa, like that's really not like killing it, like 140,000.
You didn't have financial advisors at the time. You're just trying to figure it out. You're, you know, spending money in certain areas. Was there ever a time where you were too aggressive in trying to fix something and shorted yourself money for like the week or the next couple months?
Man, there was 2 times, and me and Taylor talk about this all the time. There was 2 times. So month 12, we always, this is funny. All right. So my 12th month in roofing, I made $38,000. That's how much I had. And I got it all in like 2.5 weeks. So it was like I got $38,000 in commission checks in about 16 days. And it was right before Christmas, which I thought was beautiful because I was able to get my kids like whatever they want. And I got my wife. So my wife has breast implants. I paid for them things cash. I went in there. He was like, "How you gonna pay?" I said, "Cash." I said, "I'm paying cash. I don't need no financing.
Yeah.
Pay it in full."
Shout out to Metal Roofs, baby.
Yeah, I gave that dude. I was stacking $1,000 on his desk. Like I was still a little rough around the edges at the time.
Of course, man. How'd that make you feel?
Dude, I felt like a baller, but I wasn't working. So like in December, I was not working, like because there's
So you
Christmas.
weren't building your pipeline?
Nah, dog. In December, I had been working like the last 11 months. This is what happens to a lot of sales guys too, is that you work, and then you feel like you need to reward yourself with either time off, money, splurging, because like it is painful, bro. Like knocking doors is not easy. You're getting people, you get off my property, all this random that happens to you. You're working time, and then you want to reward yourself, like, and the reason you want to reward yourself is because you don't know where you're going, and I didn't know where I was going. I had fixed so much shit that I got to a level in my life that I had fixed everything. I did everything that was on my top 50 list to do, and then I didn't know or even believe in myself to get to this next level. So in December, I just splurged, and it was like in the middle, it was like maybe January 10th. And Taylor, like we've just been chilling. Like, you know what I mean? Just hanging out, chilling, like doing whatever. I was working a day or two, like, and, you know, whatever. And then she was like, "Hey, like, how many deals you got in your pipeline?" And I was like, "Let me check," you know? And then I had a deal kick on me. Then I had this thing. Like, it was like a couple things started happening where it was like, oh, that 20,000 I thought was coming to me is like $4,000 now. And I was like, oh, dude, it was so funny because we were paying credit card bills or whatever. Me and Tom, I'm like, "Yeah, paid it." And she's like, "All right, cool." And then we got this thing coming up, and I'm like, "What?" And then it was the first time that I was like, "Oh, like I don't have that much money coming in to meet all these bills." And I was like, "Damn!" Like, so I had to like really go back out and almost restart my whole pipeline all over again on the second year. And I was back like just going back at it again. So we almost went broke that time. Which was funny. And then we almost went broke. We almost went broke a few times, me and Taylor. But we always joke because we're like, we just went back out and just grinded hard and got it right back. Yeah. But it was like, it gets scary sometimes when you're not like paying attention or you're counting your chicks before they hatch. Because you're like, "Oh, I got 12 chickens over here." But like in insurance restoration, those 12 chickens aren't always 12 chickens. And sometimes you assume they're going to be 8 chickens. And then really it's 3. And you're like, "Yo, whoa," like you just get hit with some cancellations or, you know, this deal didn't go through or they're going to wait 9 months or they're going to hold off or they went on vacation for 6 weeks or this check didn't get released by the insurance company. So you're not getting your final commission for another 3 weeks, you know? So it's just a lot of variability. I always tell guys, man, this is a marathon. To not fall in love with the final commission or the end reward, to fall in love with the process. I know that sounds super cliche, but like, I'm like, it's just consistency week over week.
Yeah.
You know, and if you fall in love with the process, you'll always have money in your account because it's a numbers game.
Absolutely.
You know, so.
That's really good. So you were talking about really the changes you can make in 12 months. And I think what you're talking about, it reminds me of self-sabotage, because your subconscious, you know, has an idea of what you think you deserve. And so if you exceed that, then your subconscious will self-sabotage and bring you back down, whether that's splurging the money, whether that's going back into lust, whatever it may be. Yeah. The opposite is true too, which you are so familiar with, and I'm definitely familiar with, which is falling beneath what you think you deserve of yourself. And that activation, that fight or flight kicks on. I'm gonna go grind, I'm gonna go hit that world. And we kind of like that, I think. Do you like that feeling? Did you have kind of like that feeling going on at that time when you're like, man, like I just spent all this money, I don't know where it's at, and now like I'm back in the grind? Did you do that multiple times, or did you learn your lesson there?
There's just something like beautiful about that. Like, you know, I don't know, like I'm not there anymore, you know, but there is something that like about like almost being broke that like trajects you back into hustle mode, you know, where your back's against the wall. You're like, oh, all right, you know, it's like buzzer beater. Gotta hit this 3-pointer, you know, from the corner. You gotta like hit it versus you could have hit that 3-pointer like in the early fourth quarter, which you just didn't because you just want to wait for the clock.
That's a good analogy though, because as you're young in your NBA career, you may just rely on talent and being able to pull up anywhere and cross someone over. And as you get older and slower, you're like, you know what? Let me just score along the way.
Yeah, let me just get a big ass lead on you and like just keep hitting just consistent shots, and you're never gonna catch up. You know.
Fair.
But yeah, no, I think there is a little bit of that in there, you know, where you kind of purposefully or subconsciously crash your ship a little bit to like shoot you with some like nitrous to get your ass back out and hustling again.
Yeah, like a pastor told me, he goes, there's something beautiful in the Lord's Prayer. It's like, give us our bread, our daily bread.
Yeah.
Like, why daily? Because if God told us what's coming in the future, good or bad, it would change the way that we act today. Absolutely. If you knew the blessing that was coming for your company in the next 12 months, you would not be able to focus today.
Right.
And same thing if a tragedy was coming. So I think it's beautiful that you have that morning routine, that we love the journey of the daily bread, but now you're at the place of stability. So let me ask you this. I know you say you were locked in. Let's bring that to action. What does that actually mean to be locked in and making those changes of that season in your life? What were you doing? You're reading the Bible, you're at work, or is that just basically 90% of it, or you're working out? Is there something else that you were doing that constitutes being locked in?
Locked in is knowing exactly how much sleep you need when you wake up. You're on some motivational, educational, spiritual information. You're in the gym, you leave the gym, you're eating something healthy. Right after that, you're out there, you're hitting doors, you're signing deals, you're hitting doors, you're signing deals, you're hitting doors, you're signing deals, you're signing deals, you're signing deals. And you do that all the way till the sun is about to come down. I was doing inspections. I have them in my phone. I was doing inspections with flashlights. People were like, hey, their sun isn't up. I was like, oh, I have a flashlight. I'll do the roof inspection with a flashlight. Don't worry about it. You know how many inspections I've done with flashlights? I didn't even care about the sun. Like, I'm like, dude, there was not, like, when I'm talking about locked in, like, bro, when these guys were telling me they were making $200,000, $300,000, fucking $500,000 a year, dude, that was like gonna set me free. And these guys were not in physical shape. They did not have the hustle like me. They did not have the gift of gab like me. They did not have my looks. They did not have my style. They did not have my swagger. They did not have any of that. I said, bro, I'm about to dominate on all y'all. I said, bro, like, that's when I really found out I was selling myself short. Because I always thought that you needed to know somebody, or there was like something like, you know, you needed like a connection to be successful, or like, you know,
was that the moment where it switched and you're like, wait, me too?
Yeah, when I saw people that I hate to say it, sound like a narcissist or cocky or whatever, but when I saw people that I knew I was better than, making way more money than me and living a life that I would have only dreamt to have, I was like, oh, dude, it's over. I was like, because what you guys might be skilled right now, but I'll outbeat you in work ethic. So I'll work all day.
I got a question about that. Did you have access to other people in life that had made money like that? And
yeah, bro, I saw these guys commission checks. I saw one time, man, this kid made $52,000 on one job.
What did you see? What did you feel at the time?
What did I feel? I said, bro, what door was that? Like, because I was like, I'm going to go hit every door that looks like that. You know what I mean? You know, when I found out the possibilities of what you can make on a commercial roof or what you can make on a residential roof, dude, I was like, no, there's no way. If I could make 50 grand, 100 grand, you know, my guys here that have been here a while, they always hear me talk about the story about that church over in North Richland Hills. Like, dude, I was driving and dude, there's so many witnesses there, but Robert was like, I was like, man, on that church, I said, how much would I make if I signed that church up? He said, bro, about $250,000. I said, bro, make left. He goes, bro, it's like 5:30. You're going to walk into this church? I said, yes, I'm going to walk into this church. I walked right into the church. The lady had a little glass thing. It was like, where you slip the money underneath, like you couldn't even it was like a little waiting room, right? I was like, she's like, hi, how can I help you? I was like, hey, I'm a contractor locally in the area. Hey, I was just coming by. Your roof looks like it's in pretty bad shape. It looks like it's probably got some leaks going on. Hey, I do roof inspections for properties like this. Don't worry, I'm not going to charge you guys for it. I'm going to knock it out for you. I'm going to put the ladder on the right side. I'll just be up there for about 10 to 15 minutes. And she's like, well, you're going to need to talk to Karen, or I forgot what the lady's name was. And I was like, okay. I was like, whoa, what's her phone number? This, that, and the third. She gives me the number. I called her. Right then, when I walked out in the parking lot, she answered while I was getting in the car with my supervisor. I'm on the phone with her. She tells me to come back the next day. I come back the next day. They got leaks everywhere. I end up getting her to call the insurance out, but I didn't know how to run a commercial adjuster appointment. So they sent out 4 staff adjusters. So my supervisor thought I was bull. Because I had only been in it for like 7 months. He's like, he's like, bruh, and I didn't even know how to identify like damage on a TPO roof or on standing.
You're just in a glorified appointment center.
Yeah,
basically.
and these guys smoked me. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, they're like with their construction knowledge and all this stuff. Like at the time, I didn't know all the ins and outs of like structural damage, and they're having these conversations with me, and they bullied me and denied that whole fucking claim. And I didn't know anything about public adjusters. I didn't know anything about appraisers. I didn't know anything about re-inspections. I didn't know anything about calling engineers. Like I had zero kung fu, okay, and got my ass kicked. But that lady also gave me like 14 composition roofs. Like she had rentals all over the place. So I say all that to say this is that is like that's where I was at. When you talk about locked in, bro, point and I'm shooting. Like I was like point, like I talk about, I don't know how to articulate this, but I talk to Taylor about this sometimes. I'm like, look, I was like, there was so much peace in being broke that it couldn't get any worse. Like it was so cool because there was nothing somebody could say to me that would hurt my feelings because I was already homeless. I was already shit was already really bad, So I was just like, I would do whatever it took to make it happen. I was knocking any door. I was very humble in the sense of like, hey, we'll just figure it out. And that's how I learned roofing, really. There wasn't really a lot of training. I mean, there was some, but there was a lot of trial by fire,
That's amazing. I actually want to go into another section here because you brought up Taylor a couple times here. Yeah. And so I got a question about that. What's been the hardest part about staying connected with your wife while carrying the responsibilities you have here at the company?
Dang, we're just going to jump. All right. What are the hardest things about staying connected to my wife?
Yeah.
It's knowing when the business stuff stops and where our relationship begins, being able to set consistent boundaries and we had to learn all this because business is a black hole and you could talk about it forever and there's always going to be 10 problems and you fix those problems and another 10 show up and it's just, there's always something, right? And you could always keep talking about the business, but like the business is a byproduct of the relationship, and the relationship is what comes first. And so we caught on to that really fast. Like we were like,
how'd you figure that out? When did you realize, okay, I need to figure this out? When the boundaries, was there a moment? Was there a time?
There was a moment for both of us where we were like, yo, I feel like we're business partners. You know what I mean? Like we're not like, it wasn't like I was selling and then we would spend, Sundays together or whatever. Like, you start, now we have 5 kids, right? And then, so that didn't happen from a bus seat. You start stacking more and more on top and you realize how important it is to draw a line, and say, hey, like, we went out on a date, Wednesday, when we went to a really nice Mediterranean dinner, right? What time did we go? We went at 4:45, 4:45 to 6:20, right? We had to be back at the house for the kids by 7, but like we set that non-negotiable time, like, and whether we're in a good mood, bad mood, stressed out, whatever, we're like, this is our time with each other, like, and we do something special, like once a week. where we just spend quality time with each other and we don't talk about business and we talk about our future, recalibrate some of our goals, and just like listen to one another, you know? I think that's essential when you're growing a company with your significant other is to do that, because the time only gets to be like less and less and less. So you have to be more intentional and spend more quality time with that individual so you can still keep them as number one, and you keep like them feeling that like they're the most special person in your life.
Did it feel like you were a little corporate with your wife when you were implementing this and like, oh, we have to put a structured schedule
No,
down?
she did it with me.
Or
No,
were
she
you-
agreed. She felt the same way. Because we were both searching. Like we were both like, man, like this shit's whack. You know?
What alluded to that feeling? Like what was happening in the
'Cause-
business and like how did the slide happen to where you guys stopped dating and going out intentionally? Like how did we get to that point?
Dude, so when you start a business and you don't
And for context, you're talking about starting a business with your wife.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
when you start a business, it's really exciting and there's so many things to do in Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, you know, there's just so many options and dreams and, you know, and it's just super exciting and it's almost intoxicating, right? Like, because there's like, you're just this little seed and you're trying to get a branch and then you get this and you get the little thing. And there's always like, that almost can sometimes bring you more dopamine than your own romantic
That's
relationship.
good right there.
You know?
That's real right there.
And
Yeah.
and you just like keep looking for those dopamine hits from business, and by the time you realize that the only conversations you're having with your significant other are about business, and now you're not talking about, you know, places to eat and vacations and, you know, really just having depth with your wife.
All the
right?
stuff that got you excited to start the business.
Yes, exactly, right? Like, you know, and you're not going on the walks and you're not going on like just like more like just in-depth special things with your wife, right? Like you look up and you're like, "Oh yeah, we created this business, da da da," but like dang, like we haven't talked in 10 months, or not that we haven't talked, it's just we haven't had quality time in 10 months, you know? And then you realize the impact on that. And so everything has started with me and Taylor, right? So like that is the number one thing, you know, and everything else comes, it's God first, my wife second, my kids third.
Why
And
God first?
Man, because like at the end of the day, bro, it's your relationship with your higher power, your God, whatever, your spirituality, dude. Like that comes first because that is divine between you have to have that relationship with that person up above and feeling a purpose yourself. It's like more like taking care of yourself, right? Like you got to take care of you before you could take care of someone else. And so having that relationship with God and taking care of yourself and having a good relationship with him, that moves into your next part, which is your wife and your significant other, right? Because you got like, you know, I mean, I think Will Smith said this, right, or whatever, but like you have to show up to your relationship happy. Like your significant other doesn't make you happy. Like you got to show up happy, you know, and you got to take care of you and show up to that happy so that you're reciprocated with happiness. You can't show up all fucking boo boo and expect her to like bandage you up, bro. Like you got to make sure you take care of yourself.
Yeah, that's good, man. Are there any, when you say boundaries you put up as well, what are some of the boundaries you had to put up or that you and your wife had to put up to help each other?
No, like no answering the phone, right? Like we're not answering the phone. We're on our date night, right? Like we're not gonna be on our phone texting like the kids, the business. If someone calls, it's silent. Like it's just on do not disturb. It's just me and her, right? Like it doesn't matter who calls, you know, those boundaries, right? Like we're not gonna talk about all the we could talk about at work. Right, like, you know, when we went on our date last night, we were talking about where we're going for my 40th birthday and talking about Greece and, you know, like just talking about different areas of Greece and why we wanted to go here and just doing research and what days we were going to go and, you know, just like, you know, what was on our bucket list for travel and what, you know, where we wanted to take the kids next and just stuff like that, you know, and but we have to be very cautious, even though it slips in sometimes. We're not perfect, right? Like it slips in. Sometimes we got to like get some stuff out or talk about some things, some difficult stuff, because it does bleed in. But we do our best to try not to.
It brings up a great question. How have conversations or disagreements in your marriage changed as you've matured?
Wow. Well, go ahead.
I'll say it again. How have conversations or disagreements in your marriage changed as you have matured?
You know, you can't just be like this and walking away.
Well, some people can. Why is that not an option in your head?
I mean, we have a pretty big business, and we have 5 kids, and you can't just go, hey, like, I'm done, you know, I'm going to get milk and never come back.
Like the typical story.
You have to face difficult conversations head on. I think as I've matured, my responsiveness has gotten better, and I've been able to listen to some difficult things that maybe like just hurt, but I still listen. And I'm always trying to get better, you know? But I think that if we're talking about evolution, like of that, yeah, I think that's what it is it's like you know, you can't be like, I'm leaving, or we're breaking up. You know, it's like, no, like we gotta have the conversation. You know, I have to stand here and listen, and she, you know, and we have to understand each other, and then we also have to understand the new us, because we've evolved, right? So as you grow in business, and you're with somebody for a long time, like when I got with Taylor, she was 24, she's 33, you know, so we've grown into different people. Who she met me, when she met me, I was different, you know. I'm totally different now, right? Like I'm the CEO of a company. When she met me, I was a sales rep and really rough around the edges, right? So I think we've both matured. We both made each other better. We always talk about like, I go, she's like, you know, and then she gets better, and then so she'll like pass me, and then like I'm like, oh wait, I gotta get up there too, you know, like whether that's in like spirituality or like financial discipline or like different categories, you know, like she was like really killing it in fitness when I first met her. She had like 8 that, you know what I mean? And like I got like here, and then she's going here, and then I'm like it's just we challenge each other with like diet, you know what I mean? And we always just try to help level each other up and hold a new standard. Yeah. So,
what's the dream life for the rest of your life with you and Taylor look like?
Dream life with me and Taylor, man. Like, so it really at the end of the day, we want to be able to be in control of our children's education. We want to be able to be there at the important times for all 5 of our kids, right? We want to be able to be available, which we are right now. We want to be able to travel with our kids and go travel the world and be able to take 5 kids with us, you know? And then also like being able to leave behind a legacy, and in the sense of like our kids won't have to struggle like we did. You know, like there'll still be a struggle. Hey, if you're watching this, there will be a struggle. Some of that money y'all not getting till you're 40.
How do you keep you know, coming up with nothing, living that life you lived? Now your kids are not living that life. How do you still make sure that they learn the principles from that life that you live that are important to learn regardless of someone's upbringing?
I still make it really hard. You know, Taylor sometimes says, you know, I have to open up my heart a little bit more, but I'm always going to be the tougher one, man. I'm harder to impress with my kids. You know, you have to do a little bit. I'm never going to applaud a fish for swimming. And, you know, we're going to put in work. Right, like I do have a trainer that comes to the house and like works out with the boys, and like, you know, get them up at 7 a.m. Like, y'all not sleeping all day. They have a limited amount of cell phone time. You know,
that's good.
I try to create as much as I can, but you know, easy times create weak, man. I try not to fall victim to that. It's just we have a better lifestyle, and you know. It's different. It's different because I grew up without, and I always wanted to provide my kids with stuff so they had like a better childhood, and through providing them that better childhood, they can also become entitled, and I can come off as like, what are you even crying about? Or like, dismissing their feelings when their feelings are real.
Yeah.
They're real feelings. Like, and just because I had it hard doesn't mean that I should just dismiss their feelings or dismiss how they see things. And it's taught me a lot, man. That stuff. My kids have a great childhood, though. It's really cool when I ask the kids like, "Hey, man, what do you want for Christmas?" and they don't even know what the fuck to tell me. They don't even know. I'm like, that's a cool feeling. Now we take them on experiences. Like, the last Christmas we took them to New York City. We didn't even get them gifts.
Hey, just went to New York City.
Yeah, we wrote him a letter and was like, hey, like, we were like, hey, I know you want to, like, I took my oldest son, he's big in acting.
Mm-hmm.
I took him to a Broadway play on Broadway.
Nice.
And then
Which one did you guys see?
What the, I knew you were gonna ask me that. And I forgot.
Lion King.
No, it wasn't Lion King. It was Oz.
Oz. Okay.
Yeah, Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, Oz. I think it's called Oz.
It's just called Oz, though, right? Yeah, I believe so.
And so we saw Oz on Broadway, and then we went to Philly to go see an Eagles Cowboys game.
Oh, wow.
In Philly.
Wow. How was that?
Yeah, it was dope. My son's an Eagles fan. I turned into an Eagles fan. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's at Northeast.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make sure you cut that out. We have a good brain here at DFW. Man, I want to move on to just a little bit more about America and why I think America still gives people a shot. I know times are so bad, and every generation probably feels that. It's so much harder than the next generation, and
bro, we live in America,
dude. People feel hopeless right now.
Bro,
and it's crazy.
People aren't jumping over fences to get into Mexico.
I just said that on my story the other day. I was like, dude, people get on a noodle. Yeah. Not even. They get on a noodle and rip it 60 miles into South Florida, where my second place is. Man, growing up in Fort Lauderdale, it was not uncommon. We've seen many rafts out there fishing, and it's not like normal. But you're like, man, it's real, because you're like, wait, they're risking their life to come here to work a job. No, they're coming here to start a business, and they're trying to take advantage of this economic system that's not available anywhere else. And I think jobs are noble. I think it's a great thing to have. Yeah. But I also think that, America's free enterprise system is really the best opportunity, which is what I love about roofing, because you're not working a traditional job. You literally get to own your own business.
You're an entrepreneur.
You're an entrepreneur. That is the perfect word for it. Yeah. Yep. So what do you believe that someone can still do in America that might be much harder somewhere else?
What do I believe someone can do in America that would be harder somewhere else?
That could be much
harder. Thing. I mean, anything, right? I think America is still like the #1 country in the world. It has the most opportunity that you can ever get. It's just, if you ask me, I'm gonna be honest, like, a lot of Americans got lazy and entitled, and they, I mean, even when I introduce this opportunity to some people, right, they have a corporate job and they're making $120,000 a year plus benefits and this, that, and the third. And I talk to them about knocking doors. They're like, knocking doors? Ugh, what is that? And you're like, okay. Like, some people, they see certain titles and jobs as prestigious, like when you're actually going, a lot of people, 9 times out of 10, I probably catch some hate on this, but 9 times out of 10, motherfucker, you're going to that job to make money, right? You want to be successful. Everybody wants them, not have to worry about money anymore, like, Forrest Gump says, right? Like, and if you can consolidate time and you can make more money than what you would make in 1 year at being whatever you are, and you can make an uncapped amount of money, and you knock doors, yes, okay, whatever, right? Like, but if you're willing to do that, you can make $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a year. I mean, I have the paper. I have guys here that make $350,000, $400,000 a year.
Yeah,
like, that means that you would have to work 4 years. Right? Like, for every 1 year he does is 4 years of your financial life. It's like, so technically, if people saw that and believed that they had the ability to do that, and they didn't see it as some dirty, you're a door knocker, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's the most, like, they say billionaires, the first 2 years of their children's life, they tell them to go knock doors because the ability for you to create business and create relationships on the fly is the most sought after skill in the entire world.
Yes.
And you sharpen that axe every day in this,
Absolutely.
right? So if you're able to strike up a conversation and create a business transaction out of thin air, that is the most sought after skill.
Let's talk about that a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
Let's go into that. Knocking doors myself, working sales jobs, selling services, being able to do that. I don't think I'm the best in the world at that, but I do pride myself. That is definitely my biggest skill set. And I think I would say the same thing about you, knowing what I know about you. How does someone start prioritizing building that skill set if they're not in the door knocking industry? Maybe they're like, you know what, I'm making 60, 70 grand a year. I know what you said earlier in this podcast, man. I'm looking at those guys that are out there knocking doors for you or for these other companies in my area. I know I can do it. What do I got to do now before I think about transitioning into this to
That's the problem, is everybody's trying to think their way into some.
That's a good word, yeah.
Like, dude, just do it. Like, just do it. Like, people are waiting for this perfect, like, flower bed of opportunity to come float. Nah, bro. Like, usually opportunity floating by, like, it's like a piece of wood. Like, like if you're trying to get, it's like you're just waiting for some raft to come, like, and that raft is never gonna come. Yeah. You just gotta see whatever it is that's gonna float you up the river of success. You're like, ass piece of wood, jump on it. You know what I mean? And then you could turn that wood into something else down the river, but you gotta jump. Like, you got to jump. I've sent that video from Steve Harvey to a lot of guys before they start here because I'm like, they're like, well, I got to think about it. And this, I'm like, bro, just go. Just go. Well, I'm not, just not good. No one is.
Dude, my best friend's football coach in high school, he was a drunk guy, and he would always say to the team, he's like, you guys, that's your problem. You're always thinking.
Yeah.
Replace I thought with I'm wrong.
Oh, yeah. I mean, replace I'm thinking to just do it.
Just do it.
Just go. Just take action, bro.
But how? But how, though? Because I think people are motivated
Come work here.
People are motivated by the dream or the nightmare in most instances. Yeah. Would you say most people are motivated by the dream or the nightmare?
The dream.
Okay, so when I say motivated, are they going to move because of the dream? Is the dream got to be clear enough? What has to happen for you to just do it?
Bro, you have to be fed up.
Well, why do some just do it and some don't?
You have to literally paint your future. You got to go, listen, I'm making $70,000 a year right now, right? What am I going to make next year?
70 grand.
72, all right, if fucking boss likes you, okay? Yeah. All right, what do you make the next year?
74.
74. And then what are you going to make after that? Yeah. 77. Like, you know what I mean? Like, needle's not moving, dude. Like, you just take action. Just go, bro, because, yo, there's nobody on this fucking planet that's ever going to put a price tag on my time, right? Because I'm not like y'all. Like, I'm not like y'all. Like, if I can hustle faster, this is called the way the economy works, right? Like, you know, this is how everything is set up, dude. Some people are faster, stronger, quicker, more business savvy. They've studied, they sharpen their axe, and they can cut down trees quicker, right? Now, you might not be a guy that could cut down the tree quick right now, okay? But let me tell you, you got the 2 arms, 2 legs, same brain as everybody else. You can learn how to sharpen your axe and get better. You know what I mean? You can learn. But here's the caveat, is that you're never gonna learn how to cut down a tree until you cut down a tree with a dull-ass axe. You're never gonna want to sharpen the axe until you know how it feels to cut down a tree that someone cut down in an hour that took you 6 hours. You're never gonna be inspired, right? Like, you're never gonna go, you're gonna go, all right, bro, how do I sharpen this axe? But you have to just do it and start cutting the trees and start doing it, right? So, like, I hear guys all the time, man, I don't know, I gotta think about it. I gotta talk to my wife, I gotta talk to, bro, I'm like, dude, listen, this is how I do it now. I'm like, the most I'm gonna tell you is to go home and pray about it. And then after God tells you to do this, hit me tomorrow. You know what I mean? Because, like, all I needed—
That's a great word right there.
All I needed to see was somebody actually do it. Because I've been in a lot of sales organizations where they're like, oh yeah, and Connor over there, he's been with us for 9 years and he makes $400,000. And you're like, oh wow, 9 years. In 9 years, I make $400,000. Like, no, there's guys that have been here year one that have make $400,000, bro. And they'll never make less than that because they're only gonna get better year two, homie. So where can you consolidate that time?
Yeah.
Where? Like, you can do that in uncapped commissions. You have to be in an uncapped commissions position for you to be successful in this world, period.
Yes.
You have to be in control of that. And if you're not in control of that, everything will be in control of you. You know what I mean? And you will never get the freedom that you ever want, bro. And like, you got to be around guys that have that mentality for you to start breathing and living that, mantra.
Yeah. So if you're watching this, I guess the summary here is, from what I'm hearing from you, Jay, is if you know what you hate, you can know what you love to some extent. And you are right. They are motivated by the dream. But I don't think it starts there, to be fair. I think it starts with the nightmare. I think it starts with realizing, man, I'm not going to be able to do this. What do I want out of life? And one of my mentors told me about this dream donut, and like the circles, the income, and the outer part is the dream, and only one or two things is going to happen. You're going to shrink that dream to match the income, or you're going to stretch your income to match your dream. There's no other route.
Yeah.
And
I love that.
Man,
that's very true.
It just reminds me of what you're saying. So if you're watching this and you're like, man, I want to get that boat or get that house or whatever materialistic. I don't have family and kids. I want to be able to take my dog skydiving now. I got the Belgian Malinois. Like, that's expensive. Of course, I want to build a foundation and become a better man and be a more qualified man for my future wife. In the meantime, that's what I feel like is locked in my life right now. However, if I tried to do that by myself and not get around people like you and other people in my life, I think I would never have that hope. I think I only get that hope because I'm like, man, I'm seeing other people do this.
Yes.
And, dude, your situation was way worse than mine. There's no reason I can't do half of what Jay did.
Bro, it drives me crazy. I'm like, dude, I'm not special, man. I'm really not. There's nothing special about me, bro. Like, I literally just went and hit the doors. That was it. I knocked on the doors. I tell guys, bro, you can't have allodoxophobia. And people go, man, what's allodoxophobia, bro? I'm like, the fear of what people think. Because if you're not going to be at my funeral, I don't give a fuck what you think. Like, and you could tell me no, and that, like, people are going to tell you no your whole life. No to the promotion. They're going to tell you, no, you can't do this. No, you're not qualified. No, no, bro. And all that does is re-inspire me to get better, right? Because I know that there's people out there that are doing better than me. Yeah. Right? Like, I see guys in roofing do better than me. I had to detach myself from that because, I don't know, dude. I see things both ways, bro. Like, I see guys that do better than me in the roofing industry, and I go, what am I doing wrong? And I have, like, this massive, like, I just look at myself, and I'm like, what am I doing? What books am I not reading? Because I know that the gap there is just information. Like, it's not my drive. It's not my motivation. It's like I'm missing something in my skill set, which that does drive me. People go, oh, man, comparison is the enemy of joy or whatever. I'm like, I was reading Daniel G's book, which was really cool, bro. Daniel G followed me on Instagram.
Oh, nice.
He's like one of the biggest sales trainers.
Yeah, in Miami.
I had to double check myself, bro. I was like, yo, what? I was like, what? And I clicked it, and I was like, oh, I was like, that's cool. Because I love his energy. But in his book, he goes, comparison is not the enemy of joy. He goes, because if you're running a mile and you see somebody speed past you and beat you in your timing in a mile, he goes, it's going to do what? It's only going to make you go, I can be better. Like, that's it. It's call it what you want, right? It's like someone is better than you at that. And if someone is better than you at something, then that means that you haven't arrived, And so there's still work to do. Don't get complacent, Like, that's what I love that. I'm like, oh, there's more stuff. I could go harder. Like, because coming where I come from, like, all my friends and my family, they look at me and they're like, man, dude, you really did it. You really came up, man. You really made it, bro. Like, and they clap, and I'm like, but then you get here and you realize there's other people that are even doing better than you, dude. And you're like, no, like, You can't listen to these people down here to tell you that you've arrived, bro. You got to be looking up and go, dude, I have not arrived yet, dog. You still got work to do. And that's what I love about that, bro. So I don't know if joy is the...
I agree with you on that.
What is like comparison's the enemy of joy. I think comparison is like is your best friend. It tells you that it goes, hey, you can keep getting better, you know? So...
That's so good, man. So let me ask you a question about why do people stay in the lives they hate? Like, why do they not make these changes, man?
Belief. You know, I said this in a Monday meeting not too long ago, man. I said, man, the correlation of money is based off of the belief you have in yourself for it to be possible. Because if you don't believe it's possible for you, you'll never seek out the opportunities or put in the work or put in the effort to ever get there because you don't believe in yourself. You know, and I've been there. You know, I didn't believe I'd ever own a house. Like, I always thought I was gonna like have an apartment. You know what I mean? I thought like having an apartment and a car to drive was like rich where I come from. You know what I mean?
I got you on that, yeah.
Like being able to pay your rent and have a car is like rich. Like, you're killing it.
Having a legal car with no drugs in it and insured is like,
what?
dude, I know what you're saying.
Low
man.
deductible.
You're like, wait a second. I am not riding dirty.
Right.
This is crazy.
Legal.
Like,
not looking in your rear view.
Bust this U-turn on the red, you know, no problem.
Exactly. That's rich, right? Being able to take care of yourself. Like, that's rich. But like, it's not really rich. That's just
stability.
The baseline. Yeah, you know? And so, yeah. So I don't know how we ended up there. So
no, you're good. What did you tolerate for too long because the discomfort was just familiar?
What did I tolerate for too long because the discomfort
was just familiar at the time?
What did I tolerate for too long?
I had the same problem you had with the father on the mother's side, and I tolerated crazy women in my life because I love the chaos of that. There's some stuff in your life, you know, that...
I think I may have had people around me from my old life for too long. Like, growing up, you kind of put an emphasis on loyalty, and we locked in for life, and that's my dog for life, you know? And, like, when your friends don't grow with you, they get envious, they get jealous, they get mad at you, they talk about you because you're a direct reflection of what they could have became, you know? And when they're not pulling their weight and you're pulling your weight and you're also trying to help pull their weight too, you know, and they never get there, like, it creates friction in the relationships, but you keep holding on to this, yo, we're going to ride for life, and that's my dog, and we're going to stay locked in, you know, and then eventually it becomes toxic, dude, like where you know, you can't have those people around you, you know, that don't have the same drive that you have. I tried to get a lot of guys into this roofing stuff that I knew before I even had gotten into roofing, and some of them are still in roofing to this day, you know, but they're not like where I'm at, and they can't stand around me. Because they go, like, I'm like the mirror of what they could have become had they, like, worked an extra day or two a week. You know, if they stayed locked in, if they believed in themselves, if they started reading the books, if they started reading the business books, the sales books, the personal development, the videos, you know what I mean? Doing the workout. Like, dude, you know, it just gets you, like, it starts to compound interest year over year, you know? And they didn't do that. But, you know, they're making good money. Some of them are.
How can someone tell whether they're being patient or simply avoiding a difficult decision?
How do you know if you're patient or avoiding a difficult decision? Well, one, I think you're avoiding a difficult situation if it's eating you up. You know, I think if you're being patient and you're not getting eaten up, like, that's how you know you're being patient, right? If there's not
that's a good word.
If you're not getting eaten up, right? But, like, if you're avoiding something, it's eating at you. Like, if you just close your eyes and shut your fucking ears for a little bit, listen to your insides, it's telling you, like, yo, dude, this ain't the move.
Yeah, and you were talking about your friends there for a second. I was wondering, like, were there any friends that actually did grow at a rate that was respectable, where their self-image didn't get in the way of you guys hanging out and you guys can grow together still, or that you kept around for longer than the others?
No.
It's reality.
Yeah, no.
Is that
as you grow and level up, dude? There's a very limited amount of people that come with you, dude. And if you're not part of my inner circle, and like, because like the standard gets higher and higher, you know, for who I can even allow in my circle.
Yeah.
You know, if you're not holding yourself to a super fucking high standard in your life and like all areas of your life, like you're gonna fucking bring me down. Like, and I can't be around that, like, you know? And you also can't be a taker. Like, you can't just be around me like, so Jay, I want to take you for coffee and I want to just pick your fucking brain. And you just keep fucking asking me questions all day. Like, you also have to have some value that you're adding back to the circle, right?
for sure?
So,
It's a community.
right. So, but there's very limited amount of people, you know what I mean, that you can hang out with when you get to a certain level.
Yeah, you start. It's interesting because as you make more money, and most of my clients that make a lot of money, they, first of all, one thing that I will say about them that I realized in the last couple of years is they answer the phone quicker than all the poor friends in my life. Like they get back to me immediately. I'm like, why is that? They just want to get done.
Yeah.
They're like, yo, let me answer.
Solving problems quick. And also, like, successful people want to give the information to the right people, man, because like we want to see people come up.
That was my
know?
thing. I was going to ask you, do you see other people as their potential and where they could be more than you see them where they're at?
All the time. I like literally when I look at people, it drives me crazy. Like I have to like almost consciously say, stop looking at their future self. Cause like I want everybody to have a very similar story to what I had. You know, when I first started Miller Storm, man, like I thought I could change anyone's life because of where I came from. So I was like, if I could, you know, so when I would hire people, you know, they'd be like, yeah, I'm clean and sober. I'm like, cool, how long you been clean? They're like, man, 4 days. I'm like, what you coming off of? Meth. I'm like, oh, dude, yeah, cool, you're hired. Yeah, well. You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, you got meth addiction. You probably move fast. You probably knock a lot of doors, right? Like you're, you know, like, well, and then like, you know, and then I realized they still have all this baggage and like, you know, trying to, you know, I just tried to like save a lot of injured puppies, you know?
Yeah.
And you can't save everybody, man. You have to choose quality people to save.
Yeah, I think you said something last week about codependency. We were talking about something, and that's really the foundation of like almost all of our problems.
I'm still very codependent.
We all are, man. Yeah, for sure. It's so respectful, though. Like, we're not some dudes on a podcast, oh, we're being vulnerable and talk about codependency, but it literally does control almost every decision in your life.
Dude, you have to be self-aware, man, of
People
what your weaknesses
talk about
are.
codependency for young men, though, right now. I want young men to know what codependency is and why it's so important to solve, because everyone has some stuff going on in their childhood.
Yeah. I mean, codependency, I mean, my definition of it is always having to be around somebody when you're doing something productive or doing something for yourself, or you're like, sometimes you do more things for somebody else than you do for your own self, you know? That may be the driver for you, right? Like that's it for me, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I was an only child, you know? So I think a lot of my childhood growing up by myself, I was always impressed with myself, I guess, in this, right? But like I was trying to like, then when I got out into the real world, I realized like I had to like impress other people. And like, I think that like stuck with me for a really long time, right? Like, and then that just kind of became part of who I am. I know that about myself. Like for young guys, I don't know, like if that sounds like you, dude, I mean, use it as a superpower, man. Cause if you know that's part of who you are, like it doesn't need to be a weakness. Like I turned it around and made it a strength. Like I just did not like knocking doors by myself. So like I would just pick people up and they like that didn't even work with me. Like they like, yeah, you know, I'm like, yo, just
wait a second.
Yeah, I'm like just sit in the car. I'm like just sit in the car. I just need someone to talk to. Like, you know, like, you know, like I needed to ride around, right? And like when I would knock doors, like whatever, you know, some like, you get it, and then I'd hop in the car. I'm like, man, that dude's so, oh, dude, what do you say to you, man? Dude, you told me to go the real job. Nah, dog, you killing it. I'm like, yeah, I know, bro. I'm about to go hit this next door.
All right, who was that person?
Bro, there's a lot of people I did that shit with.
Just like, picking up day laborers?
Like, nah, just like friends, like old friends, like, and just like, I would just go out there and shoot, like, that might be an overarching
No, that's what's
metaphor.
happening on Uber Eats right now. I'm
Like-
getting my food delivered by 2 people.
Exactly.
I'm like, bro.
Because they're just trying to ride around and kick it, you know? And so, like, I was just trying to figure out a way to gamify it and make door knocking fun. Not that I always picked up somebody that was, like, not in roofing. Like, but what I mean by that is, like, I would pick up guys that I didn't necessarily even need to put on my deal, right? Like, but I would just have them come with me, and I would give them little pieces of my deal just to, like, hang out. Like, it sounds to say, but it's true.
Yeah.
I knew how to run a deal from start to finish. I just didn't like being by myself knocking doors. I knew how to run a deal,
Yeah.
you know, but just having them with me, like in case there was like a, you know, husband and wife, or, you know, there was like 2 roommates or whatever. I had someone else with me that can like take the other person, you know, and so.
That's amazing, man.
But I think self-awareness, because like we talk about codependent, and I'm being vulnerable or whatever, but I'm just saying, like, you have to be self-aware. I tell people all the time, like, you have to be very aware of what you're good at and what you're not good at. And self-awareness is a big key to success. You know, you have
How
to know.
does someone get better at self-awareness? How do they actually get better?
Well, you got to listen, man. You got to listen to what people say, dude. Like, and not that you have to care about it, but if 10 people tell you that you talk fast, you probably talk fast, right? You know, and you might want to like look at that. You know what I mean? And so over time, I think you realize if you're a funny guy, if you're not a funny guy, right? Like if your jokes make people laugh, like then you're funny. If your jokes don't make people laugh, you're probably not funny, right? And so you need to look at that and go, man, my jokes are just not funny, right? Like, but you know that about yourself. So if you're in a sale, you probably shouldn't crack a joke, right? Because it's not going to come off well, right? So just stick with what you're good at, okay? Like,
That's the truth. That's one thing I've learned in my sales career, man. You got some sharks out there that I'm like talking to them, I'm about to go to sleep. I'm like, dude, how the does anybody buy anything from you?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I'm dying here. And then they're the #1 salesman, or someone that's, you never, like with like Jordan Belfort, you have like that like bottled enthusiasm. They're like really fired up, but they're not over the top. I think that's healthy, but I think most sales guys, especially myself, we talk a little fast.
Oh, yeah, we all do.
And
it just means they're listening too slow.
You know what I love about AI is the talk time meter.
The what?
The talk time meters. So when I'm on a call with someone, it'll tell me how much percentage I'm talking in the call.
Oh, shit. Bro.
Yeah, so in real time,
Oh,
I'll be like,
I would hate to see that.
it keeps you in check, and you're like, wait, I should go back to asking questions, which brings me to another question. We're going to move on to a section. We got 2 sections left here. The part of success nobody sees and what's Jay into this week. So we'll finish with some fun stuff. But right here, we're going to go into the part of success nobody sees. What is one sacrifice behind your success that you were still unsure was completely worth it?
The sacrifice of time. I sacrificed a lot of time with my kids. I've sacrificed a lot of time and really relationships, right? Because when you're building a business, the relationships that are most important are the relationships inside of the business and your family. And you don't get to have as many like quote unquote fun relationships or friends, right? Like I tell Taylor, I'm like, I don't really have friends. Like I have allies. I have people that are on the same road as me right now, but some of these people might not be on the same road as me next year, right? Like, and so you sacrifice relationships like that, like trying to get where you're going, you know? So it gets very dialed in, and I've probably lost a lot of like quote unquote friends or whatever, building the business. I've lost a lot of time with my kids because you're just locked in trying to go fast and scale. Sometimes you question that, you know, you're like, man, cause my oldest sometimes like, man, Dad, you don't really get home till, 6 or 7 or whatever. And, I've noticed I've missed some time, and I'm like, but I'm trying to consolidate time. I'm like, dude, like 5-6 years, like, this machine will be built and, it'll cash flow and I won't have to be here as much. And, I'm like trying to paint this vision versus like dragging it out for 10 to 20 years. Yeah, I might be able to spend more time with my kids, but I'm going to drag out a process that could have been done in 5 years to 10 years. You see what I mean?
So finding that trade-off, that
yeah,
balance.
So you always question. I'm like, should I have like been like even slower and more steady and maybe less anxious? And
would you have made less mistakes that would have turned the business to grow faster than it is now?
No.
So
Hell
then,
no.
So then there's
Hell
no.
Everybody here knows I'm very urgent and I get things done right now.
Yeah.
Like when people go, oh man, where should I get that done? Right now. Like, do it right now. Like, don't wait for me. Like, because guess what? Like, we're going to figure out these 20 problems and the problem truck's coming tomorrow. Beep, 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 to drop off 20 more fucking problems. So if we don't fix all these 20 problems today and we have a 6 problem rollover, when problem truck comes tomorrow, we're going to have 26 fucking problems to fix. So let's get all these fixed so when more problems come tomorrow, we're ready, right? We started a clean slate. That's my mentality because I like to get things done fast, quick, and get to the finish line. Not that there's a finish line, but I want to build the business to the point where it can operate without me, And I think that's the goal. Now, how long that takes is up to you, right? If you want to put in, people go, man, how'd you get here so fast? Because I've been going fast, mother. You know what I mean? My jog went into like a medium sprint. You know what I mean?
People don't understand when you sprint like you sprinted, right? Like you get to know what works and what doesn't work. The feedback loop is closed quick.
It's faster.
You're like, wait, that shit didn't work. That shit didn't work. That shit didn't work. That shit didn't work. That didn't work. That kind of worked. Maybe there's something there. Let's test a different variation of that. And then boom, it starts working. And you're like, okay, 10th variation, we're going.
But that's 10, 12-hour days. Me and even call it half days, right? So it's like, we go from 8 to 8. And you sacrifice the relationships and the time and, and you don't have as much of a personal life, Yeah. So if you're asking me what sometimes I question, it's that. Could I have had deeper relationships with my kids or deeper relationships in my personal life or deeper relationships here? Yeah, I probably could have, and maybe would life be more fulfilling? I don't know, that you always, if you're asking me if what I question that's probably that. And then also like on that same note, the fact that we were able to get to this level of success, the quality time that I get to spend with people is much more concentrated. Okay? So like when I take my kids to the movies, we're going to like D-Box, all the snacks you want. Like we're balling out for 2 hours, dog. You know what I mean? Like we're not going and like we can only afford a medium popcorn. Like no, we're balling out. Like let's go. Like let's make it a big thing.
Which obviously is not a bad thing if you can only afford medium popcorn. Yeah. However, if we're being honest,
yeah, you get to splurge in that. Like we don't spend a lot of time with each other, but the time that we do spend, we ball out. It's a memory. You know what I mean? It's a core memory, right? So, and then also like, I don't get all those the time and the depth, and I'm not at everything. But on that same note, like, there's a lot of things that we were able to help other people and be the bridge in the gap for a lot of people in need, in the sense of like, when tragedy strikes other people and other families that we know, we've been able to help. And that right there, I realized is probably the number one thing about being successful that I love is the ability to help other people. You know what I mean? Like, it's not even about helping me no more. It's like you can help so many people. I've been saying this at every Monday meeting here recently. I'm like, broke is the most selfish thing you can do.
That's good.
Because like, dude, that means that you only give a about you, bro. The fact when you become successful, you can help a ton of people. Because 99 out of 100 problems get fixed by money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We don't have real problems no more. Like, we're not getting chased by lions and we're not like, living in the woods, right? Like, we live in a day now where most things are fixed by money. You know what I mean?
Like almost everything.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you got a leak? Slap $100 bill on it. Like, it seals it up. Look at that.
We'll move on to this last section here. What's Jay into this week? So, what have you been watching, listening to, buying, learning about, or spending time on this week?
So I am listening to this book called Crucial Conversations. It's about how to have very difficult conversations with people, active listening, getting to the root cause of the problem and being more efficient with the conversations that you have with people, especially when emotions run high, and not being like putting your head in the sand, and being able to face those issues head on with a different belief system. So that's where I'm at as far as like education and learning.
The other things like so you're listening to that. What
Yeah.
are you buying?
What am I buying?
Yeah, what do you I know you could buy what you want to buy, but what are you fascinated by recently?
I'm fascinated with this Greece trip
Okay.
for my 40th birthday.
Why?
I've never been over there. I've never been to Europe ever. And I wanted to go over there. Originally, we were going to go to Italy, but Italy looks like a little bit. Maybe I go there for my 41st birthday or something. I don't know. It looks a little old, a little dated.
Yeah.
Like, Greece looks like hella contemporary, modern. There's like floating pools and shit. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like,
I need that.
So yeah, I've been looking at that.
Why? So you like the contemporary look of Greece? Do you know, like, when you go to these trips, how do you prepare for them? You just like, I want to just send it there, or are you letting Taylor plan, or you kind of looking
Taylor
at?
plans a lot of this stuff.
Do you ever like look at like what's over there before you get there?
Yeah. We always like that's mainly me and Taylor's chat is like sending videos of like places in the world. Like we're like, yo, that looks sick. Like this,
and that helps feed obviously date night and stuff. What we were talking about earlier.
Like
you
the
guys
restaurants.
Cool.
Like we're always like, I wanted some badass Mediterranean food.
You like octopus and seafood?
Dude, no, I don't like seafood. But
so what Mediterranean? Are you talking about like chicken and
Dude, this is the best Mediterranean food in Fort Worth. I'm about to tell you right now. Hold on a second.
Is that where you went for a date the other night?
Yes, bro. Dude, Taylor was like, this is some of the best food I ever had in my life. I was like, really? Wow. I was like, and when I started eating, I was like, I can understand that. Let me see. Oh, dang it. Where did it go? Dang, I didn't realize I looked for all this kind of stuff on. Oh, here it is. This is what it's called. Meraki. Meraki.
Meraki, yeah. I've heard of this.
Mediterranean food? Bro, you can't get better food. Huh?
Why is it so good?
The flavor of everything is extraordinary. Like, it's insane. Like, the texture, the flavor, every part of the food that you eat is just insane.
What'd you get there?
I got hummus, and all their hummus was fire. Like, really flavorful hummus. Like, I didn't even know you could make hummus that flavorful. And then we got chicken, short rib, and lamb kebabs with broccolini and that Greek rice.
Yeah, forget about it. Is that the spot? Hey, so what we're saying, we're gonna shout Meraki out here for sure. They don't need a shout. I'm sure they're doing well. But we would definitely like to do some podcast there or something. There. Maybe bring the studio there.
Yeah.
Let's get the owner there. All right. I got another one here for you. Is there anything you're into right now that would surprise people who only know you for roofing?
Is there what?
Is there anything that you're into right now that would surprise people who only know you for roofing?
No. Nope.
I love it.
Nope.
Where are you going after this?
We're going on a fishing trip to Port Aransas. Yeah, me and the leadership.
Casual, just ripping over.
I don't even know, dude. I talked to my uncle last night. He's like, oh, you going to Port Aransas for a fishing trip? What are you going to catch? I'm like, I don't even know. I'm just going. Whatever I catch, I catch. Just do it, bro. Shit. Listen, even if he told me the fish that we were catching, I don't remember it. So I'll know when I get back we'll be caught.
Who planned this trip?
My boy Robert Daughtry. He does all of our solar detach and reset, and so he also does a lot of other. He's a great guy, man. He's a power lifter. Out of Metroflex. He's yoked. And he wanted to just take us on a trip because we've been doing business together for quite some time. So he was like, hey, like, let's go on a fishing trip, like, with your leadership, and let's rock, and let's go build some camaraderie, hang out. So we got an Airbnb out there, and we're just going to go fish and kick it and just,
Is that what's available? Is the life here? Like, if you do crush it here or at a roofing company, I'm assuming that is working the deal size you guys are, you're going to be able to get invited to these type of trips.
Oh, 100%, bro. We were just in Vegas the weekend before last, or really last weekend. We went to Chainsmokers concert.
Yeah. Who all went there?
It was me, Mike, Coop, Q, Declan came. I invited a lot of guys, but some guys could come, some guys couldn't. You know how it is.
Yeah.
But we went out to Vegas. We did some steak dinners, and just hung. Vegas, just it was cool, man. It was cool to just kind of kick it with everybody, party. You know what I mean? Chainsmokers was lit. We were at the pool. Yeah, bro, it's a lifestyle. Man.
Did you guys gamble?
Bro, I actually gambled for 30 minutes. I lost 500 and I won 500 right back, and that was it. And I was like, I'm done. That's enough for me, bro. Like, dude, that doesn't excite me, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Vegas is already expensive to begin with.
Yeah.
Then if you add gambling on top of that, it could double your tab, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like,
did anybody gamble on the trip and lose or win? Who?
No, everybody won.
Really?
Yeah, Declan won like $12,000.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, good for him, man. Yeah. What was he playing?
I don't know. He goes around and plays all kinds of.
Oh.
He was like, man, I gotta show y'all baccarat. And we're like, all right, yeah, let's go. He's like, I've never played baccarat in my life. He's like, yo, let's go. This is the easiest one. You make the most money, bro. I watched him lose like 700 in like 2 seconds. I was like, bro. He's like, this ain't always like that. I was like, bro, see, this is that gambling shit, bro. I thought you were teaching me something. I was like, I'm not putting my money on that table.
Yeah, and then he walks away with 12 grand. You're still, but I know it's just fun money at that point. What so we're now what, August 6th or 7th? 7th? August
7th. I think it's the 7th. Is this the 7th?
Yep, it's August 7th. We got the rest of the year. What's the big goal in the rally for everyone to know your mission? And, if they're watching this as a supplier, as a new salesperson, as a mother or father, what's the big mission that you want everyone to know that you're running towards for the rest of the year?
I mean, the goal's 27 million. I'm not letting up on that.
No.
We will have our best year. We've already cleared it. We'll have our best year this year. That's not even a question. And really what it comes down to is really just helping other people that are out there trying to find their way, have an avenue to success, man, and be around guys that hold themselves to a higher standard, show you guys how to be better, more productive people in society, and also better and productive in your work life, man, and show you really the ropes of how to win in this.
Yeah.
That's the move.
So just getting everybody lined up for success. How many people?
We want to be the
How many people sell for Miller Storm?
We have 47 sales guys.
How many guys are $1 million a year producer?
11.
What does it mean to be $1 million producer?
It means that you sold $1 million. What does it mean?
Commission-wise?
It means you're pretty good. No. Commission-wise, it's about $150,000 to $170,000 a year. Okay.
And you have a sales manager, Gunner, who's been here for what, like 2 years? And he just bought a Bentley?
Yeah.
How? That's my last question. How do you do that?
Perseverance. Nah, man, Gunner.
Could someone that's watching this right now that has zero experience, zero sales, walk in and get on the same path if Gunner, and because Gunner's teaching them already?
Bro, Gunner's not the first person to do that. Like, dude, we've taught so many people, man, on like that have made $250,000 plus in their first year, dude. Like, it's not, bro. It just comes down to your why, what's driving you, and your ability to put it to action. Like, that's it. You know. If it's possible for so many people, if it was possible for me, if it's possible for Gunner, if it's possible for Mike, possible for Naaman, possible. Like, dude, we've created so many people that have been able to provide a way above average lifestyle for themselves and their family. Like, you're not special.
No.
Like, you either come in, you put in the work, or you don't. But that's really it, man. Like, I think that is the recipe, though, what I said earlier.
Love it. Have a good fishing trip.
Yeah,
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
That was a great job.
Yeah.
I think this podcast was a little different.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Stay tuned to the next episode of the Hard Knocks Podcast.
Yeah, that's good.